Is sugar addictive? Well, according to a lot of social media experts and TikTok wankers and Instagram plebs alike, yeah, it is. Because I actually posted this on my threads the other day, basically stating that sugar is not addictive despite the claims. And the comment section went into absolute anarchy. People were giving me shit for a couple of days about it, arguing against my claim, claiming that sugar's worse for you than cocaine, that it is addictive, and that I should go and get a proper job. But the thing is, despite this absolute onslaught of knobheads, the evidence suggests that sugar isn't actually addictive. The issue comes down to people believing that it's addictive or believing that it's worse for you than what it actually is. Because then they start actually avoiding sugar. They start avoiding any food which contains sugar, assuming that it's going to kill them. This mindset can actually produce a little bit of a toxic relationship with sugar and food in general as a result, which isn't a good thing at all. I was trying to find a smart word to describe that, but let's just call a spade a spade. It's a pretty shit thing to experience. Sugar isn't actually addictive, it's just incredibly palatable, which basically means that it's easy to eat, easy to overeat, and just tastes really good. Which makes a lot of sense, to be honest with you, because human beings, from an evolutionary standpoint, want to try and find the easiest way to get nourishment, to get energy, to get calories. When we were cavemen, food was very, very sparse. We couldn't get it as quickly as just nip into our local Tesco. We actually had to go out on hunts, gather resources, take it back to our cave to please everybody else. So we are biologically engineered to seek out the quickest and easiest way to get calories and energy from our surroundings. And sweet things tend to have a high energy value, meaning from a biological standpoint, we will always try and crave the sweetest things because a sweet food equals high energy. But that's different to being addicted to it. For a substance to be considered genuinely clinically addictive, it needs to tick off a few criteria. For example, a lack of control around it, continuing to consume it despite the fact that it actually harms you, continuing to consume the substance in spite of legal, social, and health implications, and long-term changes in brain activity. And this isn't just me waffling on like an absolute prick, this is genuine criteria that is laid out by governing bodies, such as through the DSM and the ICD. Now, sugar doesn't tick any of those criteria because it doesn't cause you harm in the short term. People can't not control themselves around it so much so that they would literally run through a wall to get it. And it doesn't technically impact your brain activity in the long term. Sure, it might impact it in the short term because it actually impacts your reward system or your dopamine release. But so does a shit ton of other non-addictive stimuli, such as petting a dog, going for a walk, exercising, or just eating a nice meal. This doesn't mean that these things are addictive. It just means that they make you feel good. Now, there's quite a famous study which a lot of people refer to when they say that sugar is addictive, whereby they got a bunch of rodents together and gave them water infused with sugar. And from that method, the rodents started to exhibit some addiction-like behavioural qualities, such as withdrawal symptoms or craving it a little bit more. But the thing is that a lot of people don't understand is that these rats were starved, and they were also given the sugar water under quite extreme lab conditions, which isn't how humans consume sugar. You cannot compare what a rat does to that of a human being, especially in this study. We are not put on a desert island, starved for days, and then given a 1 kilogram bag of Silver Spoon. We just eat sugar in our day to day. So sugar doesn't actually exhibit any addictive qualities. All of the things that I mentioned are applied to such things as heroin, cocaine, nicotine, not a fucking dairy milk chocolate bar. It isn't addictive, it just tastes really good. And as I said, from a biological, evolutionary, and behavioural standpoint, human beings are hardwired to crave it for energy intake reasons. So stop calling it addictive or assuming that it is just because Peter from Instagram has told you that it is. Yeah, sure, do sugary foods tend to be high in calories? Yeah, okay. Is it easy to overeat on? Yeah, usually. So therefore, if you are trying to reduce your calorie intake because you're wanting to lose fat, for example, it might be worthwhile looking at the high sugary foods that you're eating and try and reduce them down a little bit, because that's going to be your first point of call on how you can actually reduce calories. But that doesn't mean you've got to sacrifice sugar completely. You've just got to follow the simple rule. Be mindful, don't take the piss with it, and enjoy it without feeling guilty. Sugar is not the enemy. Your brain isn't addicted to the stuff. It might look like Colombian marching powder, but it's definitely not as addictive as it. So if this video has cleared up your confusion about sugar, make sure that you give it a like, because it pushes this video to more people like you who probably need the same kind of advice. If you like what I'm saying, then make sure that you subscribe to my channel or follow my Instagram at k.p_health for some more no bullshit fat loss and fitness based advice. And as always, if you want a little bit more in-depth, tailored, personalized help into getting you the results that you want, feeling amazing in your body, feeling absolutely incredible in the outfits that you're wearing, and completely changing your life without sapping 95% of your will to live, then follow the link in the description below, fill the form out, and I'll be in touch with you personally to see how exactly I can help you make that change. In the meantime, catch you in the next one. Have a good one. Peace.